Apple a couple of days ago released their new iOS update, the iOS 16.4, to the public. There are a lot of interesting updates in this release like UI changes, web push notifications, HomeKit and shortcut updates and much more. We'll cover all these changes to iOS 16.4, how to get this update, should you update it right away, and many more in this video. So let's get started. First off, along with iOS 16.4, Apple has also released updates to iPadOS, macOS, watchOS and tvOS as well. This is the last major update to iOS 16 before Apple will announce their next iOS 17 in June. What phones are getting this update? All phones starting from iPhone 8 and later will get this iOS 16.4 update. That's for a phone over 6 years old, and that is a great software support. One of the reasons why iPhone hold their value really long. This is a pretty large update over 5 GB and it may differ depending on which version of iOS you're upgrading from. How to get this update? First, make sure you have backed up all your data. Do this by going into settings, tap on your profile, iCloud Backup, enable iCloud Backup if you haven't, and tap Backup now. After that, make sure you're connected to power, have at least 50% battery, connected to Wi-Fi, and you have enough space on your device for this update. Go to Settings, General, Software Update, and download and install. This will download the update and install it for you. You can ensure the update by checking here. Okay, let's get on with the changes to 16.4. First up, there are 21 new emojis introduced to this update. Some of these were already present in Android and are joining iOS, like the shaking face, pink heart, etc. These are all the new emojis introduced. Next, to the Music app. Apple has made some subtle UI changes to the Music app. For example, Apple has replaced the sort text in playlist section for an icon like this. The playlist is also more compact than before. When you add a song to play next or last in the queue, you used to get a big blocking icon. Now it's more subtle icon and text. This way now you can continue to use your music immediately rather waiting for the notification to dismiss. When you play a song, you can see a more accurate waveform of the playing song next to this label. In all tabs of the Music app, you can now see your profile pic. You can tap to go to your profile section. It was limited to the Listen Now section previously. If you go to an artist page, now there is a profile pic and info section where you can find more albums by the artist. There is also now a whole new app called Apple Music Classical dedicated for high fidelity classical music. This is available for all Apple Music subscribers. There are similar subtle changes to the podcast app as well, like this new channel section for you to go directly to your following channels. The recently updated section is also now more accurate and features only the shows that you haven't listened. Next, when you make a regular phone call, you now have the option to change the mic mode to voice isolation. This will enhance your voice when you are on phone call. This was already available in FaceTime calls before. It's good to see that this is coming to regular calls as well. If your network supports 5G standalone, you now have the option to switch to this 5G mode. T-Mobile in the US supports this now. This means if a carrier has a dedicated 5G infrastructure, your phone can now utilize that completely rather than relying on top of 4G infrastructure. For those who wanted to try out these iOS updates before it was released to the public, like beta updates, you had to install a beta profile. Now that is gone. You can simply pick the beta updates in the software update section. Installing a profile is thankfully gone. Next up, changes to the web and Safari. Safari has always supported adding web apps to your home screen. For example, this Uber web page is actually a web app which you can simply add to your home screen and will act like a regular app without actually installing it. But now they will also show you notifications like how a normal app would. That wasn't available before and it is enabled in this update. Another related update, previously only Safari supported adding web apps to your home screen. Now you can add web apps from any third-party browser. iPhones had this option of removing duplicate photos in your gallery. Now that option has been extended to shared libraries as well. Shared libraries were introduced to iOS in iOS 16.1. If you had done some shopping with your Apple Wallet, it now supports tracking the orders and you can do this through a widget on the home screen as well. Apple HomeKit is Apple's smart home interface. There is a new software architecture for HomeKit coming with iOS 16.4. It's supposed to make the smart home experience more reliable, faster to respond, broader integration, etc. This was originally introduced in iOS 16.2, but it was rolled back due to bugs and is now being reintroduced. If you have been using the Shortcuts app, Apple has introduced 13 new shortcuts with which you can access even more options like broadcasting announcements via intercom, access to system features like lock screen, device power options, VPN connectivity, and many more. With this update, it also gives you option to pick the default app icon for the shortcut. In terms of accessibility features, if you have difficulties with flashlights or strobe sequence in videos, iPhone now automatically dim the video. iPhones also support voiceover in Weather app for weather maps. Finally, there are other small updates like new Siri voices in foreign languages, icon changes in multiple places, new verbiage for text in settings description, optimization to crash detection in iPhone 14, and quite a lot of bug fixes and security patches. Those were the important changes. So how is this update in terms of stability? Actually, pretty good. In my time of using 16.4 update, even in beta stage, it was pretty stable with minimal bugs. I even noticed slight improvement to overall performance and battery life as well. So should you go for this update or should you wait? If you're already on an iOS 16.3 or any iOS 16 release, you can wait for a few more days before you update. If there are any major issues like how it happened with the 16.2 HomeKit architecture, Apple will fix them immediately. If you are on a much older release, I can suggest you to go for the 16.4 update, mainly for 3 reasons. One, if you are on any iOS 15 release, it means you are already way behind with a lot of security fixes which are very important. So it's best that you update soon. Second, the feature changes will be more substantial for you and can give a refresh to your iPhone. Third, 16.4 also seems stable until now with minimal bugs. So if any of the said feature interests you, going for the update now wouldn't be a bad idea after all. Okay, which feature update got you most excited? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a video every week on various tech topics. I'll see you in the next one. This is Anjana. Bye bye.